I just got back from the coolest thing I have ever done in my life. That time I saw the snow for the first time, boring. The time I performed for several thousand people, absolutely bland. The time as a kid when I drank an entire bottle of dish soap, absolutely nothing compared to this. It was awesome. I mean, kind of. My experience was a little lackluster, but let me get into it. So, we brought these four, I don't know how many. There were photo filters. One for camera, one for telescope, and then one for our phones. Which I tested out. Again, my camera is really shitty, so you can't really see it, but you can basically only see the sun. We also got these like really cool sunglasses. So on the way to and back, I was just like staring at the sun the whole time. I'm like, wow, I can't regularly do this. I went with my family and we drove a very, very long time. We would have to stop to sleep, and all that good stuff. So it took us like 3 days to get there. That's not true. 2 days to get there. Two and a half. It was like 2.5 days. We were originally planning to go to Dallas. I really wanted to go there. To me, that was the perfect spot. The weather seemed fine when we checked it. And I really wanted to take a very cool, like, aesthetic shot of the eclipse. And there are quite a few, actually, that I have seen from Dallas, and I really regret not going. We watched the eclipse in a small town. And, oh man. It was annoying because it was cloudy. But you could still see the sun. So while it was happening, it would be the occasional cloud here and there. But because it was going to be stormy, either that afternoon or the day after, there were a lot of clouds. But it was fine. We could see the sun fantastic. It was great. And then during the 2 minutes, or I think it was 3, of the fucking eclipse happening, the cloud just decided to say, no, fuck you. I'm not gonna let you see shit. So I saw glimpses of the eclipse. I didn't get a full glimpses of like 3 seconds worth each. So my experience was not as cool, but it was still awesome because there was more than just the sun, right? I mean, I got to see it to some degree. I did a time lapse of the eclipse, not of the sun, but of the surroundings. I basically wanted a video of how dark it got. Unfortunately, my camera was doing that thing where it's like, oh, it's getting dark. Let me fix that for you. It was annoying, but it actually did get pretty dark. It was incredible. It wasn't like nighttime dark, but it was really cool because it was like, you know how when when the sun sets, you see the sunset on only one side, right? Because that's where the sun is. It's nice and orange and beautiful, whatever, and it's dark on the other side. It was a sunset and 360 degrees. It was beautiful because the sun was setting above us. So then everything around it was, oh my god, I wish I could have gotten a picture of that. But it's crazy to think that I drove for 2.5 days, taking shifts here and there with the other people that were with me. And I watched the eclipse for like a couple hours, and then that's alright, straight home we go. But we weren't there to sightsee, we weren't there to enjoy much, so I didn't really get to walk around too much. We also did a couple other stops around, just because we wanted to go to places that we hadn't before. So we also went to New Mexico, which was kind of cool. I didn't really get to see much there. I was like, dude, we should stay in New Mexico for like a couple hours and then see if we can find Saul Goodman. I don't know, man. I think the driving was probably the craziest thing. It's just so much land. America's huge. It's huge. So it's like 2 days, 2.5 days, a little over actually, worth of driving, almost nonstop. I mean, maybe not. Most of that was actually, we would arrive at hotels at like 11. We would sleep and we would leave around like 6 or 7 or whatever. I like long drives because I get to listen to music and then that's it. And then do nothing. I'm someone who can just sit there and do nothing for hours and I'm fine. I don't get bored, I don't get frustrated, I don't get anxious or anything. But I did bring a lot of material. I brought books so that I could read. I didn't read any of them. I didn't read any of them. I've been trying to finish 1984 for the past like 4 years and I have yet to finish it. And I took it, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna get this new book that I bought. No, I didn't even touch my books. I think I used my Switch more. If not, for Hyrule Warriors Bless on the Switch, I would have been... I don't know what I would have done. Driving at night in Texas is scary. It's kind of spooky. Because we reached this point where there were a bunch of what we believe to have been windmills, right? But it was dark, like it was black. You couldn't see shit. And we reached this point where it was just nothing but open field. And in the distance, and I try to take video, but like my camera, like my phone camera, kind of doo-doo, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, especially at night, so I couldn't really get a good like anything. But and then you see like several, like I want to say like 20 to 30 like red blinking lights, and it was really creepy the entire time that we were there, because we saw them for miles. So we were just kind of like, dude, what if something happens? What if like an alien... I've been expecting aliens. So like the entire time that we were driving through New Mexico, I was like, look, I'm here for one thing and one thing only. Aliens. We didn't go to Roswell, unfortunately. I really wanted to, but that was really creepy. And I think one of the things that made us extra anxious after the fact was that we were talking about tornadoes. We were like, what would happen if a tornado, like, not only just happened right now, but what if it happens at night? And it's kind of crazy because we'd been checking the weather to make sure that everything would be okay. And literally, the day after we left, there was a storm. All throughout the South, like Louisiana is fucking flooded. There were like a lot of tornado warnings. And I'm like, damn, all these conspiracy theorists that are constantly like, the eclipse is a sign of something evil. I'm like, well, now they're kind of vindicated because it literally happened afterward. So I'm like, oh, well, man, they're giving these people fuel. I hope you enjoy it. If you didn't get to watch it, I really recommend that you plan ahead for the next one. Depends on which one, either total or annular, but I would really recommend it. It's such a beautiful experience. You're just there in the moment, and for the 2 to 3 minutes of totality is just so worth it. I didn't even get to see it fully, and I still was mesmerized by this experience. And I'm a big like astronomy buff, you know, like I've dedicated a good portion of my life to it. So it was like, wow. I'll have to look up some of the photos from the more professional people, because there are some beautiful photos out there. Anyways, I'm gonna stop ranting. I wish you all a happy day, and remember to drink water, and yeah.